everybody said, don't do it. And if I would have listened to them, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Hey, it's Brad here. And before we get into the show, I want to tell you about the show sponsor. Now, I personally use this company in my own business. And so I was thrilled whenever they reached out and said they wanted to sponsor the show. Today's sponsor is JobTread. JobTread is an all-in-one construction management software. JobTread streamlines processes for builders and contractors from estimating and scheduling to job costing and invoicing. With JobTread, you can create precise estimates quickly, improving the chance of winning jobs, and their dynamic scheduling allows you to keep projects on track with Gantt charts and scheduling tools. JobTread also allows you to collaborate with teams, vendors, and clients in one location. No more missed information, who said, she said. It's all in one location. And their API integration tools connect with your favorite software like QuickBooks Online, Hammer CRM, or any other API-friendly apps. JobTread is perfect for builders and contractors of all sizes. Whether you're a solo contractor or run a large team, JobTread scales to fit your needs and works great for remodelers, home builders, deck builders, pool builders, and general contractors. Try JobTread today and learn how it can help streamline, manage, and grow your construction business. Visit jobtread.com or click the link in the show notes for more details. Now let's get to the show. Hey, welcome back to the show. I have another guest with me today, Chris Blauch with Blue Mountain Bathrooms. He's located in Pennsylvania. Chris, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we're going to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and I get some pushback. I get some differing opinions. It's something that I think is going to apply to like 50% of the audience is going to agree, and 50% is probably going to disagree. And so I think it's going to be a great topic. And what we're going to be talking about today is rebranding your business. So Chris, give us just a quick little intro about you, who you are, and don't give us all the details about the brand and all that. Just give us a little bit of information about you and your business.
Yeah, so I started on the side from my normal job in 2013, and just, struggled through like everybody does at first. And eventually, just the experience that I was getting from the customers and the stuff coming in from the phones wasn't matching. And we wanted to give a better experience to the public of what we actually are. So we ended up rebranding, and I can't wait to dive into it with you a little more. Okay, so Blue Mountain Bathrooms, that's the name of your business. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that you guys do bathrooms. We definitely work in bathrooms. Okay. So when you started your business, just to be like completely transparent, Chris is one of my clients. I've worked with him, so I know a lot of this information from the back end. So I'm prompting some information here. But tell us what your original business name was. So it was my last name, Blauch Building Services. And I actually am an electrician by trade. So like not even necessarily anything to do with bathrooms. It's a journey that brought us to here. And Blauch is spelled B-L-A-U-C-H. Yep. Not like B-L-O-C-K. So like most people do, we use our last name, right? And we start a business, whether it's Jones Construction, Smith Remodeling, Blauch Building Services, some variation of that with our last name in there. When we start our business and we come up with a name, we don't really think about the long-term implications of the name that we pick. And I'm assuming that was the same for you when you first started. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I probably didn't even know what I wanted to do. I was doing commercial electrical work, and I had rental properties, and I just wanted to capture as much as possible. So like, I don't want to be home something. So I just did building services, because now I can cover everything and not worry about it. And that's another thing that a lot of us do, is where we don't really know. Either we don't know exactly what we want to do, or we're trying to capture as much of the market as we can. So we don't specialize. It's just this general, construction or remodeling or building, and so the idea there is, and I did the same thing. The idea is just I don't want to limit myself to this one thing. I want to be able to do everything, right? Because that way I'll have more opportunities and more work. right?
Yep.
I'm assuming that's the same thing you were thinking.
It's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I want to be as broad as possible because I can do it all.
Right. And it makes sense. Like, if you can do multiple things, why not do them, right? And we'll get into a little bit later about some of the downsides of that. So fast forward to today with Blue Mountain Bathrooms. How has rebranding your business specifically to bathrooms helped you with marketing and sales? And just from that aspect, like just the marketing and sales aspect, how has that helped you?
It's hard to even put into words. Just on the direction, like, we're not trying to appease to everything. We have a very distinct direction and product that we're putting out in the world. So it's easy to figure out where the pain points are and really put the pressure on them with simple messaging. We're not so spread out.
So would you say that it's made it easier for people who are looking for bathroom remodels, to see you as the expert in the field?
Oh, hands down. I mean, it's almost, when people are calling us now, they're not calling us to see what we can do for them. They kind of already have it in their head that they want us because they know what we do, and they just want a little bit of a push of like, I need to talk to someone on the phone and confirm it.
Right. And I know you do a lot of social media marketing, and you're very active in your brand awareness and all that, which definitely helps. But, like you said, someone's not calling you and say, hey, Smith Construction, do you guys do bathroom remodels? Right? Like, they're not calling to ask if you even do that service. There's no question. There's no doubt. You are a bathroom remodeling company, and you can do that. Now, I'm going to ask a question here that I know people are saying. Does that mean, Chris, that you can't do anything else because you're branded as a bathroom remodeling company?
We get that on every call too. Absolutely not. Like, we have a couple kitchens, couple basements right now. You build that relationship with the person with the bathrooms, and then they just like, well, can you do this too? It doesn't mean you can't do it. So yeah, we still do other things if it makes sense, but our marketing, our messaging, and what we're bringing in is bathrooms.
And that's also your main, that's the main type of work that you're doing is bathrooms, right?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. So a lot of the kitchens and basements and stuff, sounds like you're saying most of those come from existing bathroom remodeling clients. Yeah,
for the most part, it does. There's some that are referrals, but most of them are, we have a customer that hired us for 2 bathrooms, and now she calls us when she needs a smoke detector replaced because she's just, we built that relationship. I tried to give her another contractor, and she's like, I don't care. I just want you. I already know what I'm getting. Just tell me what it costs.
Right. So you're building the relationship with the bathroom remodel, and then that's obviously opening the doors to other things. And, those clients that you did a bathroom remodel for, their friend wants a kitchen remodel, and they may say, well, we don't know if he does kitchens, but he did an amazing job on our bathrooms. Just call him and ask, right? And so
exactly.
You get those kind of referrals too. So, okay. So, we just put it to bed. We've solved the question, the mystery. Like, just because you are branded as a specific type of service does not mean that you can't do additional things. Now, let me ask you this from a operational standpoint, because this isn't really about branding, but I just want to touch base on this. From an operational standpoint, has it made it easier or more difficult to narrow down and niche down to a specific type of service?
So much easier. We're not trying to build templates for every what if that there could be, and what concrete and a porch or decking, we were everywhere. We couldn't build a system before.
So because you were doing all kinds of stuff before. You were doing electrical services, you were doing decks, you were doing commercial remodels, you were doing insurance work. You were just all over the place with stuff.
If it required a hammer and we felt like we could do it, we were putting a price in for it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Like I said before, Chris is one of my clients, and I've worked with him for over a year, probably close to 2 years now. I think it's coming up. When you first came in and, you were block building services, what was the driving force that made you even think about rebranding? Like what brought that to fruition?
Actually, kind of what you just said, just trying to build any kind of repeatable process. I was stuck. There's so many variables in everything that we were doing. And then we had to have unicorns for each thing because, there's a lot of codes that go with a deck. There's a lot of codes that go with every piece of the pie. And I have, we're a small team. So now I'm asking these guys to be experts at absolutely everything. And they're not, they're great, but they're 1 week they're putting in a tub and then the next week they're building a deck 20 feet off the ground. So all those variables to try and build for those, we couldn't be profitable or scale in any regard with like everything on our plate.
So for you, it was more of a pain point and a necessity to like figure out something better. Is that fair?
Yeah. Like unless I want to be involved in every single step of every single job, there needs to be, more of okay, I can hand this process off to this person and it just can be learned and repeated over and over again.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I had the same problem, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, like because I started out as a handyman and we were doing all kinds of stuff, right? And so what I learned quickly was like, one of the things that we did was decks, but I would only do like 3 or 4 decks a year. It wasn't like I was doing a ton. And then you have the winter break. So we would do our last deck maybe in September, right? And then the next deck wouldn't start up until like May or June. I remember going out there because I was still working on the tools too. And I remember going out there and be like, okay, now how do you build a deck? Because it's been 6 months since I built one, and just going through that process of, oh, that's right. Yeah. Now I remember you got to do this and this and this and this. And then there's no efficiency whatsoever. Right. And there's no standardization. There's no process. And you just eat up your profits like crazy because then you realize you forgot some materials you didn't order, and the 18 trips to the store. And it just turns into this. Every job you do, you're trying to grind to make money. And then at the end of the job, you look and there's no money and you just can't figure out why. That sounds pretty accurate.
Nail on the head.
Yeah. I mean, I did it too. And then again, hiring, like you said, when you try to hire people, most people are good at, one really good skill. And then there's probably 2 or 3 other skills that they're competent in. Well, I mean, you can't hire a finish carpenter and then expect him to also be good at tile or, be really good at drywall hanging and finishing or painting or any of these other things that go on. And so you run into that problem where you do have a skill gap. Now you got a finish carpenter trying to pretend to be a tile guy, and you got a tile guy pretending to be an electrician pretending to be a painter, right? And everyone's trying to just do things to get stuff done. And it just creates chaos. So can you speak a little bit about, by rebranding and focusing on one niche, how did that help solve some of these problems that we're talking about?
Yeah, so just by focusing even on one room, we've now put it to, there's like 3 styles of bathroom that we do. And we have a team member that knows how to do like the solid surface. And every job, when they're solid surface, they know what to do. Like it's been on repeat now. So it's not like, oh, well, these 2 guys are over here and this guy's over here. And now I know you didn't put solid surface, or you only helped put that in on that one job, but now you're there and they're tied up. So you do it. Like, it's just that guy is set up to do that. He goes to each one and does that. The guy's set up for the electric, we use subs too, but like we are so focused on that space. And it's like 1, 2, or 3. Which one is it? If it's 1, we know we need these people. If it's 2, we know we need these people. If it's 3, we need these people.
So it's made it much easier for you to even systematize the production of the work.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what about from a website perspective? Because, if you do general building services on your website, you're going to have pictures of everything, right? Now, because you're Blue Mountain Bathrooms, it's just all bathrooms. Can you talk a little bit about how it's made that easier for, to be able to work with clients? And so when they call you, they're already educated because they have that information on your website. I mean, it's very specific.
Yeah, I mean, I could go down a really deep rabbit hole there, but there's, it actually allowed us, in processes wise, it allowed us time to figure out how to present that better, that we didn't have before because we were chasing our tails with everything else. So like now we have 360 degree photos, 360 degree renders, all that stuff. And we can throw it, like we just keep a portfolio really running of jobs. So it's almost turned into a sales tool for us because when people land on the site, it's just finish job after finish job after finish job of different styles of the same thing, and they scroll through and go, oh, I like that one. Like it's like a Pinterest of bathrooms.
So it's allowed potential clients to come to your website and then get a really good idea of what what they may want, whether it's design ideas or, layouts or things like that. Because it's so focused on one thing, bathrooms, you can have more of them and it's more specific rather to those different things. That's what I hear you saying?
Yeah. And they end up spending more time on our site rather than just reading, the hero thing and then bouncing again, because it's so direct to the thing they're looking for. They can find more samples and information on our site than going through all the Google links that they get thrown at.
It's almost like a Wikipedia page for bathrooms. Like if you're looking for information on bathrooms, you go to your website and there's all the information, right? And you have blog posts too on there as well, right? And so there's all kinds of information about, what's the best this and what's the best that, and here's how you do this and here's how you do that. It's like if I want to learn about bathroom remodeling, I can go to your website and be very educated on every ins and outs about bathrooms.
Exactly. And that, beyond that, it helps the blog posts, like trying to think of a topic for the blog post. There's so many directions to go in that when you're doing everything. Now we can really focus on the pain points that we're hearing when we're talking to people and build out on those, which only helps your SEO on the Google side then even more.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're a business that does everything, you essentially just have like bullet points, like services we offer, kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, decks, roofing, fence, siding, windows and doors. And it's just like a bullet point. And then you have pictures and it's like, there's 50 pictures on there, but it's of all these different things. If I'm looking for a bathroom, I don't care about everything else. I don't care about decks and windows and roofing and fencing. I care about bathrooms, right? And so now you are the educator or the education spot for all things bathroom.
Yep.
Okay, let's transition now to something that I think people are going to have questions. So when was the point, do you remember the specific time where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to rebrand?
I would say, going back in that full disclosure thing, I was a couple months into the program with you, and it was like, wow, I really see it now. And I have not planned anything. I've not built anything that is scalable, that's sellable, that's franchisable. I have a job. I didn't build a business. I built my own job, and I didn't really have any branding other than my name on it. And I just wanted to have something that was more fun, that meant more with our personality and my personality specifically, and the personality I wanted with my team. And it was just like, this needs to happen sooner than later because I'm putting all of this effort into something that I'm going to get rid of. So let's figure out what that is and make it happen.
So I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit because it was probably about a 6-month time period before, like, when you first started talking about it until you kind of actually got serious about it.
Yes, it was.
Right. So what was during that period, what was happening in your mind? Like, what were you thinking about?
So there's a lot of things. One was like, oh, I've already invested all of this time. I mean, 2013 to 2022, 2023, actually. In this other name.
10 years.
Yeah. Are people going to find me still, or am I just like starting over 10 years later? And there's a lot of fear mindset that went along with it.
Was it fear that you were going to lose all of the traction, or was there fear of kind of the unknown of, is this going to work, or both?
I think both. And beyond both is like, oh, and now everybody, like, we already have all the clothing with Blauch Building Services. I have the letterheads. I have everything. Like, the trucks are, wrapped with Blauch Building Services, and now I have to rebuy that. And it's like almost daunting. And it was like, well, let's just think about it a little more before we do that.
I mean, what finally broke what was the straw? What was the final straw of like, I'm going to do it? You remember?
I think it was our marketing. We had invested more into the marketing, and it was showing a lot of promise. And I was talking to somebody not even involved in the construction world, just like a Comcast consultant or something. And they were like, well, why would you put all that effort towards a brand that you're going to change? And now people are going to be confused when they're looking out for you. Like, you know, if you're worried about spending money on rebranding, but you're throwing all this money at a different brand that you're going to change from, something doesn't add up. And it just like clicked, like, yeah, why would I do that?
I remember, because weren't you, I think you had even after you had thought about rebranding, didn't you wrap a truck with your old name, or was you in the process of doing it?
I had a design. Yeah, I had a design made.
We were working through designs. You were posting designs, and we were talking about that. And then I think we had a conversation. Again, it was like, why go through all that if you're going to rebrand? It was kind of like, you know, shit or get off the pot kind of a moment.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, you've been talking about this, but you're still designing for the, like, which one are you doing?
Okay, so obviously not an easy decision. I mean, you had 10 years invested in your old brand. You've kind of came to the realization that you need to rebrand, because you do believe that on the backside of that, there's going to be a benefit, right? There's going to be some benefit to that. So you could see that part of it. There's still a lot of unknowns. I mean, we don't know. It could fail. Could fail miserably, right? You could lose all of that traction, but you decide to move forward with it. And do you remember what I told you would happen once you start telling people that you were going to rebrand? You remember the conversation we had?
Yeah, everyone's going to tell you not to do it. Why are you doing it? Don't do it. And they did. I mean, every single, including my fiance, was like, but you have so much into this. Why? Why change now?
Talk about that a little bit. Talk about that experience. Because I remember some very specific like B&I moments where like marketing experts and stuff were telling you it was a bad idea. Like, just share a little bit about that experience.
Once I got to the point where I knew I was doing it, and I was looking at my Sasquatch guy here, and like just really tying in the feeling and the brand that I was enjoying creating, I started to share it, and that it was, you know, happening even though it hadn't happened yet. And like you said, even in B&I, the marketing girl in B&I went to get her involved in, like, you know, the rebrand, and she's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It wasn't like I was trying to give her business, and she immediately shut it down. Like, no, don't rebrand, because you're going to limit yourself. And without throwing anyone under the bus, she doesn't have her business anymore and left B&I. You know, like, it's because that mindset, that limiting mindset that she had. But yeah, it was rough. Like, I'm glad you told me that, because everybody said don't do it. And if I would have listened to them, we wouldn't be where we are now.
I think I could probably go back and search the chat, you know, or chats back and forth, messages. But I think there were even some times where like you were having doubts, like because of the outside feedback that you were getting. You're like, I don't know, Brad, if this is a good idea or not.
Well, I'm an overthinker, and I think about everything in every angle that I can. And what the B&I lady, the one thing she said was like, oh, Blue Mountain, that's such a common thing. You're just going to get lost in a wash of Blue Mountain everything. And then I started to really go back on it, because like, oh, maybe, you know, she's marketing, maybe she's right. But like, it's been a really strong part of our brand, and it just rolls off the tongue. All the things I liked about it in the beginning, once I kind of threw out that stuff and just doubled down on this is what we want it to be, because it matches what our legendary experience and the location that we are with the mountains and all that stuff. I've gotten calls just in the last week. I've gotten a call and went to a consult for a lady that was like, I saw the Blue Mountain bathrooms and I loved it so much. And then I saw your van go by and I saw the Sasquatch, and I was like, that's it. I'm decided. I'm calling them.
That's awesome. And so just so people listening, if you're listening and don't see it, Chris is in an area that is known as Blue Mountain, right? Like the location is kind of known as Blue Mountain. And then obviously Pennsylvania, all of the Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, you know, myths and all that stuff. So you went with a mascot. Your mascot is a Sasquatch, right? Can you describe him just a little bit for the people that are listening, just so they have an idea?
Hey, just a quick time out from the show. If you're a frustrated contractor who's dealing with low profit margins, stuck working on the tools every day, or doing free estimates for people who are never going to hire you in the first place, I invite you to my private contractor community, the Profit Club, where contractors just like you are adding 2 to 3 times more profit each year without producing any more jobs, and finally getting completely off the tools to never do another free estimate again. So if you're ready to increase your profits, stop doing free estimates, and get off to tools, then all you have to do is click the link in the show notes to learn more about the Profit Club and see how it can easily 2 to 3 times the cash in your pocket, give you a proven sales process that will convert more jobs with ease and get you off the tools once and for all. And the best part is you can do all of this without having to produce more jobs than you currently are. Click the link to learn more. Now let's get back to the show.
He's a very friendly Sasquatch. He's got a big smile. Doesn't look very tall. When I let my beard grow out a little bit, customers like, is that you as a Sasquatch? You know, it's kind of very humanoid, and he's holding a hammer and just, you know, he's inviting.
And doesn't he have a name?
Big Blue.
Big Blue, yeah. Okay. So Big Blue is the Sasquatch. You kind of resemble or modeled him after you a little bit, right? You were the inspiration for him. And then we got Blue Mountain Bathroom. And just so people listening, like, this is a process, right? Like, you didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, Blue Mountain Bathroom, Sasquatch, that's it, right? So speak a little bit about how that process came about. A lot of conversations with ChatGPT. I think I ran through 150 different names. I was ready remodel, and I'm like, well, that doesn't say that, you know, that we're focusing on bathrooms, and right.
Like just went through one after another. I built out the branding, the colors for each one. I'm like, yeah, it's not speaking to me. And this was actually Bigfoot bathrooms at first. And, you know, then I bounced it off of some other construction guys and went to the PA state, you know, business website and found there's like Bigfoot construction and Bigfoot this and just stuff that was really, really close to what we were, and like trying to trademark down the road. All of those things came into consideration until we like adjusted and adapted to where we finally landed.
What were some close second place options for naming?
You know, I don't even remember anymore.
Just deleted it, right? Like got it picked, delete the rest.
That doesn't matter anymore. This is what it is.
I remember you sharing some options in the group, you know, for feedback, and, you know, some people like some people liked others, you know, you always get differences of opinions, but I do love the logo. I love the mascot. You know, I love how you put all that together. You've done a lot of work in creating this brand. This is the second part of what, you know, I want to talk about a little bit, but like, it's not just the name of a business. Yes, that's important. And the name does tell people what you do. You do bathrooms, right? That's important. But beyond that, you've created a brand, right? And just like the lady who said she saw the vehicle drive by with the, you know, the Sasquatch on there. Talk a little bit about, well, let's break this up into two things. First, talk a little bit about the idea of having a mascot, because a lot of contractors think mascots are stupid. Right? Like, why would you do a mascot? So talk a little bit about that.
So there's actually two sides of that. One is like just the marketing aspect, being disruptive. Everyone has the magnet on their door. Everyone has, you know, the name, even if they have a logo, but it's just a logo on a white van or a logo with like a swoosh of color. But you see a Bigfoot driving past you down the road, you're gonna look at it. It's disruptive. And then beyond that, it's just fun. Like we just want to have fun with it. And it starts the relationship off with the customer. Like we're tying in what's more legendary than Bigfoot? And we're tying in that legendary experience with every step that we do. So then not only are we being disruptive and grabbing them, we're showing them that we're fun, and we haven't even talked to them yet.
Okay, so we got a cartoonish looking mascot of a Bigfoot, right? What do you say to people who will say this doesn't look professional? Like this seems very cartoonish and amateurish and childish. Like, what do you say to those people that are listening?
Are they my customer?
But I mean, I love that response. But for people who are like disagreeing with that, like, what's your experience with, you know, people laugh at you and think you're not serious or you're not you're not a professional builder? Like, speak to that a little bit.
No, I haven't experienced that one bit with anyone that I've talked to, any customer, even contractors. Like, there's lots of contractors in our area that do have mascots. The fact that ours is Bigfoot the most that I've gotten is, why Bigfoot? And then when we tie into what we do, it's like, oh wow, this is really cool. So I actually haven't really experienced any mascot hate, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of mascots, and we've talked about that. I don't know if, the conversations in the group kind of led to having a mascot. Did you always want to have a mascot, or was that something that you were influenced to have?
Yeah, no, not really. Not at first. At first, I think it was just more of a, how do I get to the next day more than creating and building a brand, something that I can sell, that I can leave behind, that, whatever it may be. So there definitely was some influence just from the group and the, other contractors, and seeing the ones that are doing it, being successful with it. But once I saw it, like I couldn't unsee it. Like once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. And then I had to have it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a big fan of mascots, and there's actually, scientific proof that mascots attract more people. It actually helps your brand. So, I mean, I love your brand. I love what you've done to it. You've tied it into, everything else. So speak to more now on the branding side of what are some things that you've done to turn just a business name into a brand?
So the whole reason we picked Bigfoot, like you mean like our customer interaction?
Just any of it. Yeah. I mean, how what have you done to make this a household name, a brand versus just the name of a business?
So that is, it ties into the whole process. I mean, we all know the contractors out there that don't have any process. I mean, we were there for a long time too. We've gotten to the point where every step of our process, the customer is getting an automated video that explains what to expect during that step, what they're, what to expect from us, what they need to do, and what to expect after that step's done. And we have a whole wall of each customer's name that's on a footprint. It's like we tied the Bigfoot branding into every piece of the process, because we're, it's not a myth to find a contractor you can trust. So step into Legendary with us. Like that's how we kind of tie in the Bigfoot branding. And then, he has little tips that he puts on our blogs, and it's everywhere, to the point where when someone's thinking about bathrooms, now they're thinking about all those little steps, all those little hints, all those little Bigfoots they saw all over the place.
I love it. Something that just popped in mind while you were talking, and I mean, hopefully nobody steals this, but like you could have with the steps, like when you're talking about customer journey, like you could have the Bigfoot steps that are like, here's step 1 and step 2 and step 3. But another thing that popped in my mind, so my brain doesn't turn off talking about this, is you can maybe get some little feet, like vinyl or something. And then like after the bathroom's done, you could have like these feet on the ground, like leading into the bathroom or out of the shower or something. And you like leave it like that, when you go home or something, just something to have fun with it and play. But what I love about it is that, like you're saying, you're tying it into all aspects of your business and customer journey. I've seen some of your animated videos with Big Blue. You even have some for like your social media, where you like end every video with a little animated thing. Or is it the beginning or end? I can't remember.
But we have one for both.
Okay.
Intro and outro.
Yeah. And so you really are integrating this into everything. It makes it fun, right? Like you said, people love it. And I mean, I just want to say kudos to you for how much you've integrated this. I think you've done it. You've executed on the rebranding like perfect. I mean, I know there were some hiccups along the way, but I mean, as far as where you're at today and in the direction you're taking it, it's been a perfect execution of what it means to create a brand that is memorable and people enjoy along the process.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. There's definitely some hiccups that it was like, well, I didn't expect that. But once you see them, it's just, okay, what's the next step?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of any process, right? You're always going to have some things along the way. So as far as from a brand, with the mascot makes it easier to integrate that. Imagine doing what you're doing without a mascot.
It would make no sense. I mean, you could have the processes, but it would be, here it is. It's not a journey. We're taking, people don't just buy, I mean, they do. They'll buy like, okay, I want to buy this thing. Who has it cheapest? But when they're buying on the experience they're getting, it transcends that it's not just what's cheapest. It's what am I experiencing? What is my outcome from this? So they're buying more on the experience of the journey through getting their bathroom remodeled, and they don't even realize it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how the brand can play into that. And then having the mascot as different key parts of that is just, it's tying it all into one's kind of immersive experience of what it means to work with Blue Mountain Bathroom, right? And so like right now, I know you've been working on some things. Do you want to share kind of some of the things you're looking at getting or producing to do with the Sasquatch?
Yeah, so just like a little, I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to integrate it yet, but little giveaways. We've done a lot of like marketing stuff where we're giving something away, or we want to get more of like the smaller stuff, and we've got tons of full bathroom remodels, but we want to grab some more like, hey, I want to put a glass door on and things like that. I've mimicked or mocked up a Sasquatch rubber duck. So it looks like our mascot, like fully looks like the mascot, but in rubber duck form. And just sending that to a couple people as like, hey, check this out. I mean, the attention that will grab, and then we're giving those out. And if you get the one with the right number on the bottom, you win, gift card to decorate your bathroom or something. So just tying all of that together, it just is bringing that disruptive marketing into the having fun with it. And now we have something physical that we can hand out. Even kids, walking down the street with their parents after school, we can hand them one of those, and it's going to live in their bathroom. And then when they want to do a bathroom, they're like, oh yeah, that Blue Mountain thing with the Sasquatch duck.
Yeah. I mean, those, leave behinds when you get done, you can leave them in the bathroom. But you also have looked at like a doll, right? Haven't you looked at producing like some kind of, Sasquatch doll or action figure? Yep.
We've, the doll, we've looked at doing like an actual wearable mascot to take and go to events. Yeah. Imagine trying to make a costume to put on events and wear just your logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways you can go with it. I mean, there's a lot of different things because you have the mascot. Without the mascot, almost everything you just said is not doable.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to throw this out there because I do know your business. Chris is not doing like average stuff. Like Chris is doing very high-end bathroom remodels. Chris is a high-end contractor. And so you have a fun brand, a name with a Sasquatch, which some people would say is cartoonish or childish. But he's also doing high-end remodels. So like that right there breaks that myth of you can't have fun and have a playful type of logo or character and still produce high-end work.
I'm glad you said that because it triggered my memory on actually my grandpa. When you said, like, did I get some pushback? He was the first one that was like, but you do really nice things. That doesn't seem like an elegant, where's the cursive lettering and the
right.
What you would expect. And I think part of it is not being exactly what everybody else is and what you expect.
Well, I mean, you can make any business or brand out, to be whatever. Like I know lots of companies that are very elegant in design and they don't do very elegant work. You know what I mean? So like, it's not a guarantee that if the name of your business is exquisite bathrooms and you have silver and gold, font graphics logo, that doesn't mean that you're going to do good work. Right. And so the myth, we're talking about myths here, the myth of you can't have fun and you can't have a playful type of brand and, image. And by the way, it's very well done. Like I would encourage anybody listening here to go to his website just to help build up his SEO, but go to his website and look at his logo. It's very well done. It's very professionally done. It's not some chicken scratch that looks like a 3-year-old designed it. It's very well thought out. There's a lot of effort that went into it. It's very well done, but it is fun and playful, right? And people remember that. Talk a little bit about that experience of rebranding. I'm sure you opened up Canva and you just designed this all yourself, right?
I wanted to, but no, definitely not. I mean, that was probably a big part of the delay in getting it rebranded in itself was once I did finally land on what I wanted, I still had to find someone to put it all visually together for me. Cause I had, just like our customers, I have the vision in my head, but I couldn't get it on paper. And then,
you did try. You did try to do it yourself.
I used some AI stuff. At least got the direction that I wanted to go. But yeah, then it was, how am I going to do this? And then I looked into, there's lots of marketing rebranding companies out there.
Sure.
One, I can't remember it now because it doesn't matter anymore. I already did it, but it was like $20,000, and they were going to run with everything and design the shirts and the vans and the logo, the mascot, everything with market research. And it all sounds great, but I wasn't ready to drop 20 plus grand on the branding. So, I reeled it back a little bit and found another company that ran with my AI generated stuff. And like you said, they did a wonderful job. And then it was, okay, now let's add the trucks into it. It kind of went in a process because my brain wanted to do it all at once. And, that investment was a lot.
Well, let me add it together. So like you paid for a design, you paid a company to come in and design the logo, and then, design the vehicle wraps and all that. And then obviously you had to pay someone to do the vehicle wraps and, buy new shirts and hats and uniforms and all that stuff. And then even like update your website, just for the colors and things, and then get a little more specific. Do you know, and maybe you don't have to share this, but do you know roughly like total amount of money you spend to rebrand completely? Including vehicle wraps, the whole shebang.
It's tens of thousands of dollars I spent to rebrand.
And would you say it was worth it?
Absolutely.
That's what I was asking. Like, it's not cheap. Let's be real. It's not like you're going to rebrand. Unless you just started, a month ago and now you decide to rebrand, sure. But when you have years and years of a brand in place and uniforms and shirts and vehicle wraps and all this stuff already done, you got to redo it, right? And so it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars. But once you start doing it, it's going to definitely pay for itself. How long, once you fully branded, because we did like you did like a transition period, which you should. But how long, would you say once you were fully branded, that you started to notice people recognizing the brand, the new brand?
Well, we did a contest to guess our new name. So that definitely drove some engagement there. But even after that, it was probably 6 months later, we were still getting phone calls like, hey, it's Blue Mountain Bathrooms. How can I help you? Oh, I thought this was Blauch Building Services. So everything on the internet has been scrubbed from Blauch Building Services and it's the same phone number, but to Blue Mountain Bathrooms, and we're still getting those calls. So, who knows where they were getting it from. But recognized, it probably in that 6-month time, it started to really, really take off.
So it was about a 6-month window from, transitioning to where people started recognizing the Blue Mountain Bathroom brand and calling you, asking for that brand.
Yeah. There's definitely a lull. It wasn't like, oh, we did this contest and we rebranded and boom, everyone knows it. It doesn't work that way.
But you were still getting calls for the old brand. People were still calling you, wanting work done. You were just like, oh yeah, that was our old brand. This is our new name, basically.
Yes. Yep.
So it wasn't like work just stopped for 6 months and then it started picking up. You were still getting, because you kept your phone number. Obviously you wouldn't want to change your phone number. You did change the website name, but then you also forwarded your old website to your new one. Yep. People searching for that. Side note, did you create a separate website or did you just convert the existing one?
No, we just converted the existing.
Okay. But you kept the domain. That way, if someone were to type it in and then redirected it to your new one.
It forwards. Okay. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we put a banner. Yeah, we put a bright, all of the branding on the page is blue, obviously. So we have a lot of blue and white. And then at the top, we had a bright red stripe that said, Blauch Building or Blue Mountain Bathrooms is a Blauch Building Services company. So it helped transition those people.
Gotcha.
But I think we only kept that on for that 6-month period. And then we took it off.
And then you transitioned all your vehicles because you didn't do them all at once. You did one at a time, right, to get them all switched over.
Yeah. It would have been a lot to do those all at once. So, I we were probably 3 or 4 months in still with Blauch Building Services vans showing up at Blue Mountain bathrooms. And I remember being very worried about that, and it didn't matter. Like, people were already bought into the brand, and it was like, oh yeah, we didn't get that van redone yet. And they're like, oh, okay. And on to the next thing. Like, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
No, it doesn't. I mean, people only care about, are you going to remodel their project or do their project, right? Like, there may be some initial confusion, for 30 seconds of like, who are you? I thought, oh, okay. And then that's gone. And now it's focused on project.
Yep. Yeah. Like, the phone calls were the same way. It was like, oh, wait, so you're not Blauch Building Services? And it's like, well, we are. Same team, same service. We're just more focused on bathrooms so that you know what we're doing. And we're like, well, okay, so that's what I was calling you about. I was like, yeah, but how can we help you? And then off to the races. So
right, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like this major confusion thing. So okay, we're getting close to the end here on time, and so what would you say, Chris, to someone who's listening to this and they're like on the fence about rebranding? And I don't mean like, they're wanting to just like change the logo design. I mean, doing like a full name change, right? Basically a whole new brand. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about doing that?
Get off the fence. I mean, how do I say this without making it sound like it's a brag? The rebrand and just the messaging that we've been able to put out and the confidence behind that messaging has gotten it to the point where people call in. I feel like they already know they're hiring us when they call in, because they've seen it, they've seen the branding, they've seen the videos, they know exactly what we are, they know how we have fun with it, they already know. And then we rebranded April of last year. So we're going on 1 year now, and in this calendar year, we're already at the amount that we did all of last year.
And you believe that the rebrand contributed to that significantly?
I absolutely do.
Yeah. One quick little question on that. With the rebrand, you also niched down, right? One of the reasons why you rebranded was because you were niching down. So the reason for the rebrand was because you were niching down the bathrooms. Speaking just about niching down to one or maybe two services, what do you say to someone who is, on the fence about, I do 8 different services. I do roofing, fencing, decks, windows. And I'm thinking about just specializing in siding, or I'm specializing in decks. What is your experience and what is your recommendation and advice to someone who's thinking about niching down to a specific service?
Definitely niche down. I still debate sometimes if I didn't niche down far enough, that it shouldn't be like Blue Mountain bidets. And it's just like, how simple would our process be if every time I got on the phone, I was talking about that one thing,
Yeah. Installing a bidet, yeah.
Like, it would be, I still think about that sometimes. So, like, if you're struggling at all and sitting on the fence, like, oh, I don't know if I should or not, that limiting mindset of, oh, there won't be enough work out there. There is. There absolutely is. We're just bathroom focused and have more jobs than we ever had when we had everything.
And you have more bathrooms now than you did whenever you did everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then with that comes easier marketing message, easier processes, easier material ordering, easier estimating. Everything becomes easier because you're only doing one type of service.
Yes. Yeah, it's just everything got easier. Sometimes I have to keep myself from sabotaging it because it feels easier than it ever did before. Yeah.
You're like, bring back all of that misery and all the stress that I had before. All right, Chris, final thoughts. Is there any question or, anything I should have asked you, or any piece of advice you want to give to anyone listening to this show?
I think one of the biggest things that I struggled with was the mindset on it. And even some of what you could consider cons of rebranding, just the, like, oh, I won't have the same pool of work to get to. I won't have as much stuff to talk about. Like, I know early on I struggled with the content, like, well, it's a bathroom, there's a shower, there's like, how much can I talk about in this room? Well, it wasn't so much about not repeating myself as much as the confidence and the details that I could get into because I was talking about that same thing over and over again, that it built into the client too. And I didn't even know that was happening, that I was doing that, or that it was happening to me. So like my mindset at first was, oh, this is kind of harder, but it really wasn't. Like, it was such a positive that I was putting a negative to until it started to click. And then I'm like, oh yeah, all of that was actually a really good thing. So like having the right mindset to, there's going to be things that feel different, but it's going to improve from where you were, is huge.
Awesome. I always like to ask all my guests one question, and that is, what is a book that you're reading or one that you would recommend?
The Buy Back Your Time. That is, I'm in the process of cataloging everything I do in a day. And when I do something that I'm, not on my schedule and I put it in there, I see all of the stuff that, why am I doing that? Why, that's not the process that we've created. So like, once you start to figure out in your business the processes and then apply you to them and what you're doing, it starts to really help make it something that you can step out of and or, scale.
Yeah, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell is a great book. It's one that I've given to a lot of clients. But I don't know if I guess you didn't get my memo before, Chris. You were supposed to say the Contractor Profit Blueprint. That's the book you were supposed to
I was going to say it, but I only just downloaded the audio.
I'm just kidding. No, that's a great book. Buy Back Your Time is an excellent book. Highly recommend that. So, Chris, what if somebody wants to learn more about your business or has some questions for you? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Really, just go to the website. Either fill out the form on the website, even though that's like customer form, because that is, my schedule is fully set up by Andrea. Like, she puts the calls in there. So I'm happy to talk to anybody. If someone wants advice on rebranding or wants a feel of what we did or how we did it, I'm happy to jump on the phone. We'll just set you up in my call calendar and I'll talk through it with you.
Awesome. Well, Chris, I appreciate your time. You're very generous with your time and helping others, and proud to see all the success you've had with the rebrand and in your business. I love getting to be a fly on the wall and see that happen. So I really appreciate you and coming in here and sharing your experiences with the rebrand.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You know where to find me on the socials. Just search for the Hammer and Grind podcast or go to the show notes. We'll also have Chris's link to his website in the show notes as well. And I appreciate you hanging out with me. Remember, until next time, profit is not a dirty word.